Illustrations by Pete.
Okay, hello everybody. I have 3 videos in one for you today. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is to overcome artist block. And the way that I'm going to do that is by conquering the dreaded first page. So this is a brand new sketchbook. It is the Hahnemuhle Toned Watercolor Book. And I was excited when this came out. Just to give you a little reference, if you compare this one to the Stillman and Burn gray that I typically use, you'll see that these are very different. This is much lighter. It still is gray. There's a pure white book, and you can see it's definitely not pure white. It's gray, but it's a little bit lighter and a little bit more blue, I guess, in the shade compared to the Stillman and Burn book, which is even lighter than the Strathmore book. So this is Strathmore Tone Gray is right here. Then this is the Stillman and Burn Tone Gray, which I love this color. It's a great mid-tone. This is a very light gray for the Hahnemuhle. Okay, so the third part of this video is going to be reviewing this book. I've never used it before, so I wanted to do that. I figured what better way to get over artist block than to conquer that first page. Everybody seems to have a problem with this first page. So I understand that the first page is sometimes a little difficult to get over. If you do something wrong on this first page, people somehow feel that the rest of the book is going to be garbage. The first page sets the tone for the whole book. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to get over that by doing something a little unorthodox. I have another camera view up here, and I'm going to show that to you. I'm going to use this blindfold and put it on and just start on this page and show you that there's nothing to be afraid of. So I'm going to use a Copic multi-liner, and I'm going to take this blindfold here and stick it on, and you'll be able to see in the other view what I'm doing. Okay. I can't really see. So okay, how do you get over this first page? I'm gonna peek for a second so I can make sure that this is in the shot. I don't want to move the book out of the shot. So okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just going to draw just a couple little lines on the paper. Okay. Okay. That's what I ended up with. Well, I thought I was a little bit wider. I might do a couple more lines. I'm going to cover up again. I'm going to do a couple more lines. Okay. All right. Okay. I didn't really go too far, did I? That's okay. That's all right. I'm going to show you how to turn this into a doodle, and it'll be on my first page in the book, and it'll be okay. I promise everything's going to be wonderful. Okay, everyone. So, as you can tell, I'm not stressed out about this. And I want you to relax. If you have a new sketchbook, if you have something that you're going to start doing, try and take some pressure off yourself. The goal here is just to make something. No one would ever see this book if I didn't want them to. So just take some pressure. And I understand because I don't always have a lot of time to make art. And when I do, I spend hours on something, I don't like the way it comes out, it's okay. I don't really like the way this came out. But I just did it, and it's okay. It'll be the first page of my book, and here's how I look at it. If you do something really great on the first page of your book, that's fine. You could say that it sets the standard for the book. But if what you do is maybe not so great, then maybe the only place you can go is up. And so that should be some encouragement for you as you flip through the book. Maybe you're getting better and better. And of course, for me, many times that is the case because it takes me so long to finish a book because I have so many of them that I work in at the same time that by the time I finish one book, I probably have improved a little bit from the time I started it. But it's okay. It doesn't need to be. I don't mind seeing something terrible in the first page, the second page, the third page. It's all okay. The most important thing is that you're creating something. And the more you create things, even if the thing you created you don't like, the more you create things, the better you'll eventually be at creating things. And you can get some ideas out of your head. You can use them for maybe something in the future. This happens to be something that turned into a portrait. And I realized I put that eye in there on purpose, but I didn't intend for it to be a portrait. And I'm going to call it a self-portrait. I think all art is a self-portrait, really, because you're putting yourself on paper, but we'll call this a self-portrait, and it's more like an abstract self-portrait, so just think of it like that. And this doesn't just have to be a first-page thing. It could be any time that you feel stuck. Anytime you're not sure what to do, you just want to do something. Just close your eyes, have the page in front of you, and just put some lines on it, and see what happens. All I'm doing here is putting one line, and then another line, and it's creating a shape, and then I'm adding some texture to it. That's all I'm doing. Anybody can do this. I will say this paper is smooth enough that you can draw on it with pen, no problem. Nothing skipped, it wasn't a problem. I didn't have any kind of weird texture things where I couldn't fill in gaps or couldn't fill in spaces because there's too much texture to the page. Typically, when I do something on gray paper, I like to add white highlights. I did not in this one. It's not a very dark gray. So I forgot about it and just didn't do it. I was happy with the way it came out. Later on, you're going to see I am going to soak this paper. It's supposed to be a watercolor paper. It's supposed to work very well, and I thought maybe it would be terrible because I've seen pages this thin before, and they claim that you could use watercolor in them, but they are actually terrible. This one wasn't. I soaked it. You'll see. There was a little bit of warping, but that wasn't bad. And the buckling that I recorded here, I don't really think it does it justice because I went back to the book a day later and it was much flatter. I just left it with the elastic band on and it was much flatter. There was much less warping and much less buckling than I show on this video. So very good paper. I highly recommend it. It's a small book, which is neat. You can open to 4 inches by 8 inches. Which could make for a landscape. That would be a good landscape size. But then I was very happy with it. So let me tell you why I think doodling is so important to me and why I think it could really help anyone that may be struggling. So for a few years, I was pretty steady on Instagram, posting things on Facebook. And then, I got a promotion at work. Things went well for me. I'm not complaining about that, but it got away from art. I didn't have a whole lot of time to make some art. So what I did was I got into doodling and was re-inspired all over again for art. I started doodling at work when I was maybe in a meeting and should have been paying attention and wasn't. It was quick. It was easy. I could stop something, come back to it later because it really wasn't supposed to be anything to begin with. So just drawing lines on a page and I can do that at any point, pick up an old piece and just add to it. It really did inspire me. It was fun. So I started doing this at the beginning of my sketchbooks. I just really think whatever medium you use, doodling can bring some inspiration back. It can focus you on doing art again. If you don't know what to do, that's not a problem. You just keep going. And that's why I do it. And hopefully I inspire you to do it yourself because it really is easy and anybody can do it. I just want to let you know, I am one of those people that need closure. I will start watching a terrible movie. I'll know it's terrible maybe 15 minutes into the movie, and I will sit there for another 2.5, 3 hours watching something I think is terrible. Just because once I started it, I have to see it through. Are you like that? That's the question I have for you today. I would love to hear if that's how you are. If you need closure for everything in your life, like I do, or at least attempt to get closure for everything in your life. Sometimes you can't always get what you want. That's what the saying goes. But I at least look for that satisfaction. That's why the worst thing for me to do, especially if I'm busy, is just to flip on the television. Because if it's something, especially if it's a movie that I've already seen, I know what's going to happen. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. But I have to watch it again because I just started watching it. It doesn't matter if I catch it in the middle, the beginning, towards the end. It's just terrible. If I have to do something, I have to not turn on any television, not start listening to a podcast or anything like that, because I will want to sit there until it's done. Even if I know it's going to happen, even if I know that I don't like it, I'll have to finish it. That's just me. I'm a little quirky that way. Maybe you are too, and maybe that's why you continue to watch this video, but hopefully not. Hopefully you're enjoying it and at least getting something out of it. That's really my goal. And while we're on the subject of movies, I never agree with critics, and it doesn't matter if it's just movies. It could be a music album from someone and they say, oh, that's the worst album they ever put out or the worst song that they ever released. I'm always in opposition to that opinion, but that's just me. Some people always agree, and that's fine too. Now you can see here on this page on the back, there's a little bit of buckling on top. Not terrible at all, and I soaked that thing. So I would say that this paper is really good to use. You either get this paper or get a different paper and just do something. Make some lines, make some shapes, add some texture, and have some fun. Maybe click on one of these other 2 videos and check them out. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do that. Leave a like, comment below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.